Hi everyone, so the PTR update has finally dropped just a few hours ago. I've been trying it out directly live on stream, and obviously I couldn't get everything done now. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here, and we have these updated patch notes that you can read with the link in the description if you want to go through them on your own. I'm just going to go through some of the highlights and talk about what has changed, which is basically everything. So it's actually a really huge turnaround for especially the witch doctors. They are absolutely insane now. Witch doctors actually got a rework on all three of their powers, and all of them are really insane now. So let's start with the first one. This one was initially a haunt pull power, so every haunted enemy will get pulled to you 5 seconds after you stop haunting. That was kind of clunky and weak, and now they made it so that first of all you cast Locust Swarm, which then spreads haunt, and when you cast Piranhas, everything that's haunted will be pulled to you. And this works much better, so you can actually trigger it when you want, in the spot where you want, and it works like a charm. So I'm gonna make a full video about this at some point. You have also the Boga dial, which right now seems a little bit buggy. Completely one-shotting some stuff, so you can see that here. So I didn't do this myself yet, but here's a clip from Baskinator who went in to try this out on a GR 140, and this Boga dial that is supposed to deal massive damage, actually just straight up kills the boss with like 160 quadrillion damage hit or something. I checked. I believe there's probably some bugs that instead of doing a certain percent HP, it also benefits from certain multipliers. I did some napkin math and that kind of checked out, but I didn't actually test the mechanics yet. So it looks like this is unintentionally strong, of course, but it does look like that even in a scenario where this is nerfed / fixed, there will be a way to kill the boss without being stricken in a solo push in maybe just 2-3 minutes or something like that, depending on how much it actually does. At least that is my expectation. If there's going to be anything like the Vengeance power or the Storm Armor power from the Wizard, for example, they can do probably around 20-30% damage to the boss per minute, and I would expect a rather similar value here. So all in all, this whole thing buffs especially Mundunugu like mad because of the pulling, because of potentially not having to run a Stricken and then do like an 8-minute boss kill anyway. So we'll see, but it already looks very promising. Then we have the Horrify change, 100% more damage, so that was 15. This is additive damage, I checked it. Unfortunately, it also doesn't stack. I was briefly considering there could be some kind of a double or even triple Witch Doctor meta with like a Mundunugu trash killer, Arakia boss killer, even a support Witch Doctor, but unfortunately they don't stack, so Witch Doctor support is basically out. And then, we'll see what we can do with the 4-man meta. And finally, a huge buff to pet builds as well. So we have 2 Gargantuans, that gives you 6 with the ring. Then you get the zombie dogs all the time. You get the restless giant rune, so you can choose another one. You get the zombie dogs with all runes. And you also get 100% more damage to all your pets, because why not? And theoretically, this should apply to Arakia as well. So that is also going to be pretty nasty. I need to try out all this stuff, but in general, Witch Doctor, besides Jade, I tried Jade with this power here, it didn't really work that well. It's gonna be pretty insane. Overall, there were some nerfs and some tuning. So for example, kind of expected, Magic Missiles is only 10 projectiles now. I was thinking maybe it would land somewhere at 12 to 15, but it will remain probably the best farming build for the Wizards, better than Flame Blades for sure. And they also buffed the Mirror Ball to compensate for this. So this doesn't help Firebirds, but it does make especially this LOD Magic Missile build way better, and DMO as well, I guess. So you can play those. I'm really looking forward to that. Barbarian's also looking very powerful now. So there's the Tempest Rhythm that gives you a 100% damage bonus. And at least before this patch, that was multiplicative and works for party members. So straight up double damage. This is also just gonna buff a few Barb builds in solo pushing in general, like Raker for example. I tried a Whirlwind Raker that was not really feeling that great, but I will talk about this at some point. And I guess just this will make it very easy to push 150 with something like Raker. Then you have the Hoda thing. This is a much bigger shockwave now. People are actually doing 150 4-man with a Hoda DPS with the shockwave. So it does seem to work much better now. So really crazy stuff going on here. Crusaders got essentially nothing. I think this is just like a straight up big nerf to the Archangels. I haven't tried them yet, but they are not looking very spicy, and there also seem to be some newly introduced bugs with the Arcane set that we'll have to figure out. Demon Hunters got something very interesting. So they have this strafe power that allows you to basically play God the Age with your spenders. And they further down made a comment that you can now use strafe with a melee weapon. So we've gone actually full circle now. So all 6 leaderboards on Demon Hunter are gonna be strafe builds, turns out. And this one is actually super powerful. I went in there, I did like a 3-minute 120. This is gonna be an insane farming build, almost on the level of Wave of Light. I definitely have to try to optimize this a little bit more, but it does look very powerful. Not like super crazy OP, it's not gonna be like group, like 4-man push viable or something like that, because it just doesn't work that well in a push. But for farming, this is really good. Some other changes that made it so that you can't abuse like the Vengeance and the Storm Armor and the Angels anymore. So it all has like some kind of like charge up mechanic, like this, for example. So you can't just leave game and all that stuff that we did early in the PTR. That's kind of expected. Cluster Arrow got also some changes. So Marauders is a bit improved of this, looking very strong as well. Monks didn't get any changes. Necromancers also not really. Just that they actually nerfed Nova a little bit, but it still looks very powerful. So we see this here, they capped the Blood-Tide Blade to 25 enemies. So this is like the one mechanic that allows you to just like scale your AoE damage out of control. So this was like brought down a little bit. Yeah, kind of expected, because Nova was looking really powerful, and it's still, I think it has done 150 solo again already on the PTR here. So yeah, so I mean, it's at 4.7k, it's not like super low Paragon, but it definitely does still look pretty good. And lastly, also a pretty big update to the Guardian set. So this was initially something that I considered extremely weak, with this only, I think it gave 50% of your main stats and 50% vitality. So this was distributed between the 2 and 3-piece bonus. And now it gives you 100% of all your stats, and it has like another small 3-piece bonus. So this is kind of weird, because the big bonus is on the 2-piece instead of on the 3-piece, like on Crimson and Orgulls. I don't know why this was done that way instead of moving it to the 3-piece, because now you actually have the kind of weird scenario that you just care about the 2-piece. Like the 3-piece is, yeah, kind of nice to have, but it doesn't really matter. This one is obviously pretty insane, especially for low Paragon players. So this is gonna essentially make everyone way tankier and way more powerful in the early days of the season. And especially more casual players that, you know, quit at like Paragon 900 or so will profit tremendously from this effect. So if this goes live with any kind of numbers close to this, then it's gonna be a really huge boon to a lot of builds. And there's also a lot of like experimentation that we can do now with a lot of different builds where you can fit them in. It's hard to say where exactly will be like the breakpoint where eventually you want to unequip Guardian set, because this only works for the base attributes on your items. So somewhere at like 2k, 3k Paragon, I expect will be kind of the point for most builds where you want to replace it with Orgulls, for example. But definitely looks quite exciting. Either way, I suggest that if you want to take a more detailed look at some of these changes, go check out the link in the description or jump on the PTR to try out some things. There's a lot more to talk about and, well, many things to try and make videos about. So I'm going to keep you covered in the next days. We'll see what happens. There's also some stuff that they actually didn't put into this patch yet. For example, there are no changes at all to Tarasha, and some kind of like really lackluster changes to Arcane, for example. So I expect we're going to see more updates to that in like maybe a patch next week, because the PTR is still going to run for almost 2 more weeks. So there's probably going to be some more tuning, some more big update, especially for Tarasha, and let's see where this will go. But overall, it's looking quite exciting. That was a huge turnaround, especially for the Witch Doctors. So I'm very excited to see where this will go this season. Personally, I would really be looking forward to Witch Doctor season, actually. That's what I have to share for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more content, and see you guys next time.